So, hello student, very good morning to everyone, and this is my seventh lecture on radicals in organic synthesis. So, dear students, so these are the points that we had learned in the last lecture. In the last lecture, we had learned the formation of carbon-carbon bond via thiol donor, formation of carbon-carbon bond via thiol donor. so, uh, so this carbon-carbon bond formation, it is a useful synthetic method uh, for the formation of alkyl radical. And so sorry, the generation of this alkyl radical via thiol donor, it is a useful synthetic method for the formation of alkyl radical in which the radical is trapped by thiocarbonyl group. And this was developed by Barton. This is the name of the scientist, Barton. And in this method, the acid chloride are treated with n-hydroxypyridine thione. Acid chloride is treated with n-hydroxypyridine thione, pyridine 2 thione, to form corresponding thione ester. And then it generates the alkyl radical, and that alkyl radical adds to carbon-carbon double bond. So in the last lecture we had taken this example, that is C15H31 on a reaction with this n-hydroxypyridine 2 thione and hydroxypyridine 2 thione. So this n-hydroxy, these two compound react with this alpha beta unsaturated ester, and you will get this product. So again, in the last lecture we had learned the reaction mechanism of this reaction. So you know that reaction mechanism, it is nothing but the step by step explanation of your reaction, how the bond breaking and bond formation takes place during the formation of product. So in the reaction mechanism, what happened, this your acid halide, acid chloride react with n-hydroxypyridine 2 thione. So this n-hydroxypyridine having this hydroxyl group, OH group, hydroxy group. This OH, the oxygen having lone pair of electron. This lone pair of electron attack on the carbonyl carbon of this acid halide. Attack on carbonyl carbon of this acid halide, and the bond will break. You know this carbon oxygen double bond, it contains two bond, that is one pi bond and one sigma bond. And you know that the pi bond is a weak bond because it is formed by the lateral overlapping of p orbital. So this pi bond easily break, and the bond pair shift on oxygen. So in the next structure, this oxygen, they will form the bond with this carbon, and there is a negative charge on this oxygen and there is a positive charge on this oxygen, because this oxygen have now three bond. It's a tertiary oxygen. So this your positive charge containing oxygen, and this your negative charge containing oxygen. Then the next step is this oxygen anion delocalized here, it form carbon oxygen double bond, and your chlorine is a leaving group, Cl minus. Now in the next step, this Cl minus, it takes this proton from this tertiary oxygen, and it stabilizes this oxygen, because this oxygen having three bond, and it's unstable. The oxygen having a positive charge, it's unstable. To stabilize that, this Cl minus take this proton and convert to HCl. So minus HCl is a byproduct, and you will get this thion ester. So actually this thion ester name is here, it should be here. So you will get this thion ester. Now in the next step, this thion ester undergoes homolysis. The homolysis of nitrogen oxygen bond takes place in presence of H mu. So it homolytically breaks. You will get this nitrogen radical and oxygen radical. Then this oxygen radical delocalize here. At the same time, this C bond breaking, or the homolysis of the C bond takes place. It generates C15H31 radical, and this O radical combined with this C radical and it forms CO2. Then it's a simply decarboxylation, CO2 formation of carbon dioxide. Then in the next step, this the simply it's a stabilization of this nitrogen radical by the resonance. It will stabilize like this. Stabilization of this your uh, radical. Okay, so the radical present on sulfur, it is more stable because this nitrogen is more electronegative than sulfur. So if the radical present on nitrogen, it will not react easily because it will not donate its electron. Okay, so we had learned the electrophilic and nucleophilic radical, so you have to use this term here. So here this sulfur radical, it can easily donate its electron, or this low that is radical, and it can easily form the bond. So the radical present on sulfur, it's a more stable resonating structure. Now in the next step, what happened, this C15H31 radical, C15H31 radical, it react with your alpha beta unsaturated ester. This is your alpha beta unsaturated ester. So the homolysis of this alpha, this carbon carbon double bond takes place. It generates two CH2 radical, CH2. Now this CH2 radical react with your C15H31, and you will get this compound. Then this generated your CH2 radical is trapped by this derivative of pyridine, and you will get this final product. So this is this is the product, and this is what we had learned in the last lecture, that is the generation of alkyl radical via thiol donor, and it is a useful synthetic method for the formation of alkyl radical in which the radical is trapped by thiocarbonyl group, and this method was developed by Barton. In this method, what happened, simply the acid chloride is treated with n-hydroxypyridine to thion to get the corresponding thion ester. Then that corresponding thion ester, what it undergoes homolysis, and it generate alkyl radical. Then alkyl radical adds to carbon carbon double bond, and you will get this final product. And then the radical form in this strip is trapped by your pyridine to thiol. You will get the, it is trapped by your derivative of pyridine. So this is the simple reaction that we had learned in the last lecture, and reaction is the reaction mechanism is very simple. You can easily write its reaction mechanism. Once you understand, you can now, instead of this C15H13, you can take any alkyl group here, and you can easily write the reaction mechanism. Then again, in the last lecture, we had learned the CO bond cleavage, that is CO bond cleavage. So in the CO bond cleavage, this is the reaction that we had learned in the last lecture, that is this carbon tetrachloride, CCl4 carbon tetrachloride. This carbon tetrachloride react with this CO DMGHY pyridine, and you will get this product. So again, we had learned its reaction mechanism. So in reaction mechanism, what happened, this CCl4 carbon tetrachloride undergoes homolysis of, or homolytic cleavage takes place. It generates CCl3 radical and Cl radical, chlorine radical, and trichloride carbon radical. Then next step, in the next step, your this CCl3 radical react with your carbon carbon double bond, and here it generates CH2 radical and CH radical. So this CCl3 radical react with this CH radical, and it form the bond, and it generates CH2 radical. Then simply the breaking of this CO bond takes place. Here you have carbonyl carbon, so bond breaking takes place. It generates CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this CH2 radical, it form carbon carbon double bond. Then this CO radical react with this Cl, it generates this acid halide and DMGHY pyridine. So this is what we had learned in the last lecture. Okay, now let's move toward the next slide. So students, in today's lecture, I am going to teach you the CS bond cleavage, carbon sulfur bond cleavage, CS bond cleavage. Okay, so so these are the three types of reaction that involve the CS bond cleavage, that is isomerization of alkene, fragmentation of allyl sulfide, then fragmentation of vinyl sulfide. So consider let's see the one by one. That is, first we'll see that is isomerization of alkene. So isomerization is nothing but the conversion of cis to transalkene. That is called as isomerization of alkene. So consider this pH sulfur, that is benzene sulfur, PHS radical. So this PHS radical generated from PHSX. So we are skip the first step here. So you have to imagine that it is generated from halide, and PHS radical react with this carbon-carbon double bond alkene. It's a cis alkene. So it react with this. So it generates CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this phenyl S, and you will get this product. Then the simply what the isomerization takes place. Again, this bond breaking takes place. So in the bond breaking, what happens? This cis convert to trans one. So here we show you that. So here bond breaking takes place. We generate CH2 radical. Okay, and once it generates this, your C radical, the rotation of this carbon-carbon single bond takes place. The rotation of this carbon-carbon single bond takes place. It convert to cis2 trans, and you will get this CHS radical, that is phenyl sulfur radical. So this is the simply isomerization of alkene. So the radical generate phenyl sulfur radical, sulfide radical generated from your phenyl halide, phenyl sulfur halide, sulfide halide, and it react with your carbon-carbon double bond. This R1, R2 may be any alkyl or aryl group. So the reaction between these two molecule takes place, and yeah, this will form bond with this carbon-carbon double bond. You will get this. Then the breaking of this takes place. So before breaking bond, this after breaking, it generates CH2 radical. That CH2 is the radical. Okay, so it's a carbon-carbon single bond. So it undergoes isomerization. The rotation of this carbon single bond takes place. It convert to cis2 trans, and you will get this trans alkene. And this is simply the isomerization of alkene. Now the second one is fragmentation of allyl sulfide. You know the fragmentation, it means that the here in this reaction the breaking of bond takes place, or the fragment, or the breaking of one molecule into two molecules. It's a fragmentation, the fragmentation of allyl sulfide. Okay, this R1 radical. So the R1 radical generated from any alkyl halide. Okay, so this R1, you have to imagine that this is generated from your alkyl halide. R1 radical react with this alkene. So this will form bond with this carbon carbon double bond. So this R radical, R1 radical, let me show you that. Okay, so this your R1 radical, and this carbon carbon double bond undergoes homolysis. Okay, it generates CH2 radical and CH radical. This CH radical react with this R1, and you will get this product. Then the next step is the breaking of this, what your SPH takes place. So its reaction is nothing but the fragmentation of allyl sulfide. So this is your allyl sulfide, this is your allyl sulfide. So here this reaction involves the breaking of this allyl sulfide. So the breaking takes place in this way. So mm, eraser, let's take eraser. Okay, so the breaking of this CH bond takes place. Simply the breaking of this CH bond takes place. Okay, it generates SPH radical, then this CH radical react with this CH2, it form carbon sulfur double bond. So this is the simply the fragmentation of allyl sulfide, the fragmentation of allyl sulfide. So this R1 radical generated from your alkyl halide, it will react with your allyl sulfide, it form the bond with this R1. Then simply the breaking of this SPH bond takes place, and we'll get this alkene. So this is the simply the fragmentation of allyl sulfide, and this involves the CS bond cleavage. This involves what? CS bond cleavage. Now the next step is the fragmentation of vinyl sulfide. The fragmentation of vinyl sulfide. So this is your vinyl sulfide. Directly this SPH attached to the carbon carbon double bond. So it's a vinyl sulfide. So this radical CH2 radical generated from, consider here halide group is attached, and we are directly writing this radical. You have to imagine that you have to what, you have to consider that before this one step is there, and we are directly writing this radical. Okay, So this radical react with this carbon carbon double bond, okay, and it generates CH2 radicals. So let me show you that so you can easily understand. Okay, so this, okay, the breaking of this double bond takes place like this, okay, and so this carbon will form bond with this radical. So the formation of six-membered ring takes place. Then the next step is and it generates this CH2 radical. Then next step is the breaking of this SPH. The fragmentation of vinyl sulfide takes place. So fragmentation takes place in this way. This CH2 radical, the breaking of this SPH bond takes place. Okay, it generates CH2 radical and CH2 radical. These two CH2 radical react, it form carbon carbon double bond, and it generates SPH radical. It generates SPH radical. So in this reaction, the fragmentation of vinyl sulfide. In this reaction, the fragmentation of vinyl sulfide, CS bond cleavage takes place. What? CS bond cleavage takes place. So this R radical react with this carbon carbon double bond. So the homolysis of this carbon carbon double bond takes place. It generates CH2 radical and CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this CH2 radical. It form six-membered ring. Then the simply the breaking or the fragmentation of S CS bond takes place. CS bond takes place. It generates carbon sulfur double bond. So this reaction is very important reaction. This reaction is very important reaction because we are going to what? We are going to learn this fragmentation of vinyl sulfide in detail. Okay. Now let's move towards the next slide. So this is the fragmentation of your allyl sulfide, example of allyl sulfide, and it's a intermolecular carbon carbon bond formation. So this 2 hydroxy, uh, 2 bromo 1 hydroxy ethane react with this allyl sulfide in presence of H mu, and you will get this product, the carbon carbon bond formation in these two different molecule. Okay, so it's a intermolecular carbon carbon bond formation reaction. We'll see its reaction mechanism, and the reaction mechanism is very simple. This first is your 1 bromo 2 hydroxy ethane undergoes homolysis of this CBr bond. It generates CH2 radical and bromine radical. So this is your CH2 radical and bromine radical. The next step is this your CH2 radical react with your allyl sulfide. So it's a allyl sulfide. It react with your allyl sulfide. Okay, so this arrow should be single-headed arrow. It's my mistake. So you have to understand this. So this is your single-headed arrow, and so the reaction between these two molecules takes place. The bond formation between this your hydroxy ethane and it is allyl sulfide, and it generates CH2 radical. This CH2 radical uh, uh, it generates CH2 radical. Then the next step is the breaking or the fragmentation of this CS bond takes place. The breaking of this CS bond takes place, or the fragmentation of this CS bond takes place. Fragmentation of this CS bond takes place. Okay, so it generate CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this CH2 radical. CH radical react with this CH2 radical. It form carbon carbon double bond, and it generate SC6H5. That is SPH radical, and you will this your final product. So the reaction mechanism is very simple. This 1 bromo 2 hydroxy ethane react with your allyl sulfide, okay, derivative of allyl sulfide in place of H mu, and it's the example of intermolecular carbon carbon bond formation. Intermolecular carbon carbon bond formation. Okay, so in the reaction mechanism, what happened? This CBr undergoes homolysis. It generates CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this vinyl sulfide and the formation of carbon carbon bond takes place in these two different molecules. It's a example of intermolecular carbon carbon bond formation. You are forming the bond in a two different molecule. Then the next step is this SCS, the breaking of this CS bond, or the breaking or the fragmentation of the CS bond takes place. you will get CH and CH2 radical, and you will get this carbon-carbon double bond containing compound. So this is the reaction mechanism, and the reaction mechanism is very simple. You can easily write the reaction mechanism. Or then now let's move towards the next slide. So this is your example, that is this compound in benzene at 80 degrees Celsius. You will get this product. You will get this formation of 5-membered ring, 5-membered ring. Okay, and the stereochemistry is this group, this hydrogen and these two groups are trans. So this trans one is more stable, so that's why this group is below the plane and this will above the plane, hydrogen. Now let's see its reaction mechanism. So in the reaction mechanism, what happened? This butyl this butyl undergoes homolysis. The breaking of this SN-C bond takes place. It generates tributyltin radical and CH2 radical. Then this CH2 radical, it generates CH2 radical. Then the next step is this generates CH2 radical. The next step is the breaking of this SPH-CS bond takes place. Same way the breaking of this CH bond takes place, and it generates this CH2 radical. Now this CH2 radical react with this carbon-carbon double bond. The breaking of this carbon-carbon double bond takes place. It generates CH2 and CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this CH2 radical. It form your 5-membered ring. It form the 5-membered ring, and you will get this your and it form the 5-membered ring. So this is a simply product. Okay, so the reaction mechanism is very simple. This tributyl carbon bond undergoes homolysis. It generates CH2 radical. Then in the next step, this PHS bond undergoes homolysis. It generates CH2 radical. Then this CH2 radical react with your carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, so the breaking of this bond takes place. It generates CH2 radical. This CH2 radical react with this CH2 radical. It forms carbon-carbon double bond, and this CH2 radical react with this CH2 radical, and it form your 5-membered ring. So this is a simply reaction mechanism. Now let's move towards the next slide, that is CX bond cleavage. New point, that is CX bond cleavage, carbon halogen bond cleavage. So this RBr, alkyl bromide, and presence of this vinyl bromide, in presence of H mu, you will get this intermolecular carbon-carbon bond formation plus Br2. So how this reaction goes, how this alkyl bromide react with this vinyl bromide and presence of H mu, you are getting this product. So we'll see its reaction mechanism. And you know, this reaction mechanism is very simple. The reaction mechanism is very simple. This RBr, so homolysis of this RBr bond takes place, it generate R radical and bromine radical. Now in the next step, again in the same step, what this vinyl bromide undergoes homolysis. It generates bromine radical and CH2 radical. It generates bromine radical and CH2 radical. Then this R radical, alkyl radical react with your carbon-carbon double bond. This CH2 radical, it form the carbon-carbon double bond, and it's a intermolecular carbon-carbon bond formation. It's a intermolecular carbon-carbon bond formation. So you will get this product, trans product. So trans alkene is the most stable. Then this is 2Br, that is generated from this alkyl halide and vinyl halide. Okay, it form the bond, and you will get this Br2 molecule. You will get this Br2 molecule. So this is your simply the CX bond cleavage, carbon halide bond cleavage. Okay, so this carbon halide bond cleavage. So this alkyl bromide reaction with your vinyl bromide in place of HB, you will get this trans product and Br2 molecule. The reaction mechanism is very simple. The reaction mechanism is very simple. So this alkyl bromide undergoes homolysis. It generates R radical and bromine radical. and the same time this CBr, the breaking of this vinyl bromide takes place. Okay, it generate bromine radical and CH2 radical. And in the next step, this R radical react with this CH2 radical. R radical react with this CH2 radical, and you will get this product, trans product. Then this Br radical combined together, and you will get this final product, byproduct, that is Br2 molecule. Okay, so this is the simple reaction, CX bond cleavage. Now let's move towards the next slide, and the new point that we are going to learn is that is your oxidative coupling reaction. Oxidative coupling reaction. Okay, so the Kolbe electrolysis, it is an electrochemical decarboxylation reaction. So it is one of the name reaction, Kolbe electrolysis, and is an electrochemical decarboxylation reaction of the salt of carboxylic acid, which produces radical, this radical is coupled, then this radical is coupled with each other and gives dimerized product. It gives dimerized product. This reaction is also called as decarboxylative dimerization. Okay, so whatever the alkyl radical you get in this after decarboxylation, okay, the dimerization of that alkyl radical takes place, and this reaction is also called as decarboxylative dimerization. So so this you are using two carboxylic acid, alkyl carboxylic acid. Okay, two molecules of this carboxylic acid in presence of NaOH and minus H2O. Anodic oxidation takes place, and you will get this dimerized product. You will get this alkane. Okay, dimerization reaction takes place. So this reaction is called as oxidative coupling reaction. This reaction is called as oxidative coupling reaction. Oxidative coupling reaction. This reaction is called as oxidative coupling reaction. So the Kolbe electrolysis is an electrochemical decarboxylation reaction. The Kolbe electrolysis, it is an electrochemical decarboxylation. You are decarboxylating this carboxylation by electrochemical. It's a electrochemical decarboxylation. Okay, reaction of the salt of carboxylic acid. You are doing the electrochemical decarboxylation of salt of carboxylic acid, which produces radical. After decarboxylation, you will get the radical. This radical is coupled with each other. And gives dimerized product. You will get the dimerized product, and this reaction is also called as decarboxylative dimerization. So this is the reaction mechanism. The two molecules of this your acid, carboxylic acid, reaction with NaOH in presence of what NaOH and anodic oxidation takes place. You will get this product, and the reaction is your dimerization reaction. Now let's move towards the next reaction. Let's see the reaction mechanism in the next slide. So the reaction mechanism is very simple. Is very simple. What happen? You are using this carboxylic acid. This carboxylic acid react with your what? NaOH, sodium hydroxide. This carboxylic acid react with your sodium hydroxide, and the role of this sodium hydroxide is it acts as a base. It acts as a what? Base. And the function of base is it abstract the acidic proton. So simply the acid base reaction takes place. So this is your acid and this is your base. So the role of this NaOH is it takes acidic proton. So you are here same, you are using two molecules of NaOH. So it takes as this acidic proton. So this proton is acidic due to electronegativity difference between this oxygen and hydrogen. So there is a due to this electronegativity, the oxygen withdraws. Oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen. So due to the electronegativity difference, the oxygen withdraws electron towards itself. And make that hydrogen as a acidic. So there is a slightly delta positive charge on hydrogen, and there is a slightly delta positive charge, negative charge on oxygen. So base, so the role of this base is it abstract acidic proton. So this proton is acidic, so it takes this proton, convert to H2O. Okay, and you will get this salt of carboxylic acid. Salt of carboxylic acid. You will get this salt of carboxylic acid. Salt of carboxylic acid. Now, now once you get this salt of carboxylic acid, the anodic oxidation takes place. Now this oxygen having 6 electron, okay, 4 electron of that lone pair, because oxygen having 2 lone pair, okay, one lone pair containing 2 electrons, so it having 2 lone pair, so it having what, 4 electron of that lone pair, and this negative charge 2 electrons, so it having total 6 electron. Okay, then anodic oxidation takes place. So the oxidation, this salt undergoes oxidation, it loses its 1 electron. After losing electron, now this carboxylic, the oxygen having 5 electron. Okay, and this is now your radical. This is now your radical species. Okay, this is now your what, radical species. Now this radical undergoes, oxygen radical undergoes decarboxylation reaction like this. Okay, so this oxygen radical will delocalize here. Same way the breaking of this Cr bond takes place. Okay, breaking of this Cr bond takes place, you will get CO2 and R radical. You will get CO2 and R radical. CO2 and R radical. Okay, -2 CO2 and R radical. Now this you are having 2R radical. Okay, so dimerization of this 2R radical takes place. Okay, so dimerization is simply the coupling of this 2R radical. Okay, coupling of this 2 radicals. So this is your R plus R. These are the two alkyl radical. Okay, radical. Okay, the next step is the dimerization of this 2R radical takes place, and you will get this dimerized product. You get this what, dimerized. Okay, you get this dimerization and you will get this product. So in this way, this reaction is very important reaction in synthetic organic chemistry, because your what, you can take any acid, any organic acid, and by using this Kolbe electrochemical decarboxylation, you can decarboxylate this carboxyl group, and you can dimerize that. So this reaction has a very important reaction in synthetic organic chemistry, and you can use any acid. This R may be any aryl group, this may be any cyclic group. So you can do the dimerization of 2 cycles, you can do the dimerization of 2 aromatic ring. Okay, you can prepare the diphenyl you can prepare the diphenyl ring. You can join the 2 cyclohexyl cyclopentyl ring together by this reaction. Okay, so the reaction mechanism is very simple. This your carboxylic acid on reaction with NaOH, sodium hydroxide. Okay, so the role of this sodium hydroxide is what, it acts as a base. It takes this proton and generate this salt. Then this salt undergoes anodic oxidation, it loses its 1 electron, and generate your generate radical. Then this radical undergoes decarboxylation, it generates 2 R radical, then these 2 R radical, the dimerization of these 2 radical takes place, and you will get this final product. So this is the uh, reaction mechanism. This is the general reaction mechanism of this oxidative coupling reaction. Now take the real example. Okay, this now take the real example. Okay, so this your phenyl acetic acid. Okay, phenyl acetic acid, two phenyl acetic acid, two molecules of this phenyl acetic acid in presence of NaOH and anodic oxidation. You will get this 1,2-diphenylethane. You will get this 1,2-diphenylethane. So you can simply prepare this 1,2-diphenylethane by this Kolbe electrochemical decarboxylation reaction by simply decarboxylating it and followed by the dimerization. You will get this 1,2-diphenyl ethane. You get this 1,2-diphenyl ethane, and the reaction mechanism is very simple. This your phenyl acetic acid, they react with your NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and the role of this sodium hydroxide is that it takes proton. Okay, this proton is acidic one due to the oxygen. Okay, so the proton is acidic, and the role of this base is it takes proton and convert into its salt. Then this salt undergoes anodic oxidation. You will get this pH CH2 C double bond O radical. Okay, you will get this 2 CH2 pH CH2 C double bond O radical. Then the next step is the decarboxylation reaction takes place. What decarboxylation reaction takes place? This pH CH2 C2 undergoes decarboxylation like this. How this decarboxylation reaction takes place? Same way this molecule undergoes decarboxylation reaction. This molecule undergoes decarboxylation reaction, and you will get this pH CH2 radical. You will get this pH CH2 radical. Now the next step is the this pH2 PHCH2 radical. You are having two PHCH2 radical. This PH2 PHCH2 radical undergoes dimerization reaction. It undergoes what? Dimerization reaction, and you will get this 1,2-diphenyl ethane. So this is a simple reaction. This phenyl acetic acid undergoes Kolbe electrochemical decarboxylation reaction, and you will get this 1,2-diphenylethane, and its reaction mechanism is very simple. This is your phenyl acetic acid react with NaOH, so it's acid base reaction. The role of this NaOH is it takes this proton. So role of this sodium hydroxide is what? It takes this proton and generate your it generate it generates sodium salt of phenyl acetate. It generates sodium salt of phenyl acetate. Okay, this is your phenyl acetate. Then it undergoes anodic oxidation reaction takes place, anodic oxidation. So now this oxygen having 6 electron. Okay, so the oxidation reaction takes place. Oxidation reaction means it loses electron. It loses 1 electron by anodic oxidation. Okay, so this oxygen loses its 1 electron. When it loses electron, it will convert to what? Radical. It will convert to what? Radical. Okay, now this radical undergoes decarboxylation reaction. This radical undergoes decarboxylation reaction like this. Okay, so this is your this radical will shift here its form. Okay, will shift here. Same way this the breaking of this bond takes place. Okay, CC bond takes place, it generates CH2 radical. Then this C radical reacts with this O radical, it forms CO2, 2CO2, and after breaking of this, after breaking of this C C bond, okay, it generates CH2 radical. It generates what? CH2 radical. It generates CH2 radical. Then the simply the dimerization of this pH CH2 radical. You are having two pH CH2 radical. The coupling of these two pH CH2 radical takes place, and you will get this 1,2 diphenyl ethane, 1,2-diphenyl ethane. So this is the simple reaction mechanism of your oxidative coupling reaction, and the name of this is one of the name reaction, and the name of that reaction is Kolbe electrolysis. The name of this reaction is Kolbe electrolysis. So this Kolbe electrolysis is an electrochemical decarboxylation. It is an what? Electrochemical decarboxylation reaction of the salt of carboxylic acid, of the salt of carboxylic acid, which produces radical, this radical is coupled with each other and give dimerized product. This reaction is also called as decarboxylative dimerization. This reaction is also called as decarboxylative dimerization. Okay, then thank you once again.